Long ago, the nation of Israel was facing one of its greatest challenges. The Philistine army had gathered for battle against Israel. Both armies stood on opposite sides of a valley, waiting for the fight to begin. Among the Philistines was a giant warrior named Goliath. He was incredibly tall, strong, and feared by everyone who saw him. He wore a bronze helmet, heavy armor, and carried a massive spear. Every morning and evening, Goliath would step forward and shout at the Israelites, "Why have you come out to fight? Choose one man to battle me. If he defeats me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." For 40 days, Goliath repeated this challenge. The soldiers of Israel were terrified. Even King Saul was afraid. No one dared to face the giant. Meanwhile, a young shepherd named David was caring for his father's sheep in Bethlehem. David was the youngest son in his family. While his older brother served in the army, David spent his days protecting sheep from wolves and wild animals and worshiping God. One day, David's father sent him to the battlefield with food for his brothers. As David arrived, he heard Goliath shouting his challenge. He watched as the giant mocked the army of Israel and insulted the God they worshipped. David could not understand why everyone was so afraid. "Who is this Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David asked. The soldiers explained how dangerous Goliath was, but David was not discouraged. He remembered how God had helped him protect his sheep from lions and bears. "The Lord who rescued me from the lion and the bear will rescue me from this giant," David said. When King Saul heard about David's courage, he called for him. Saul looked at the young shepherd and said, "You are only a boy, and Goliath has been a warrior since his youth." But David replied confidently, "When a lion or a bear attacked my father's sheep, I went after it and rescued the sheep. The same God who protected me then will me now." Saul finally agreed and offered David his royal armor. David tried it on, but it was too heavy and uncomfortable. He removed it and chose to trust God instead of weapons and armor. David picked up his shepherd's staff and walked to a nearby stream. There he selected 5 smooth stones and placed them in his shepherd's bag. Carrying only his sling and those stones, he walked toward the giant. As Goliath saw David approaching, he laughed loudly. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" he shouted. "Come here, and I will feed your body to the birds of the air." But David was not afraid. "You come against me with a sword, spear, and javelin," David answered. "But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." As Goliath moved closer, David ran quickly toward him. Reaching into his bag, David took out and placed it in his sling. He swung the sling around and released the stone. The stone flew through the air with incredible speed and struck Goliath directly in the forehead. The giant staggered. Then, to the amazement of everyone watching, Goliath fell face down to the ground. The battlefield became silent. The mighty warrior who had terrified an entire nation was defeated by a young shepherd who trusted in God. When the Philistine army saw that their champion had fallen, they panicked and began to run. The Israelite army charged forward with great courage and won a tremendous victory. From that day forward, David became known throughout Israel. People remembered that it was not his size, strength, or weapons that gave him victory. It was his faith in God. The story of David and Goliath reminds us that no challenge is too great when we place our trust in God. Giants may appear in many forms: fear, doubt, problems, or obstacles, but faith can overcome them all. Lesson: ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. When you trust Him, even the biggest giants in your life can be defeated.